Virgo. Um, so hold on, don't move yet. Do you feel that thin line of tension in the air, like the second before a secret is spoken out loud? Yeah, that's where you are right now. Um, Something has been standing just outside your awareness, watching, waiting, choosing the exact second you'd finally be still enough to feel it. The silence you've been sitting in wasn't peaceful, it was strategic. Every pause, every unanswered thought, every time your intuition whispered and you brushed it off, it was all building toward this. You didn't imagine the shift. You didn't overthink it. This is that rare moment when the universe leans in close and says, listen carefully, because once you hear this truth, there's no unhearing it. What's approaching you now carries weight, intention, and a confession that's been held back long enough to start changing the future itself. And Virgo, it's already closer than you think. So before we go any further, take a breath with me, slow, intentional. And if you feel this energy already wrapping around you, if your heart reacted before your mind did, gently seal this moment by liking this reading and subscribing to Virgo, not as a habit, but as alignment, as a signal to the universe that you are present for what's unfolding now. Okay, the first image that opens is soft, almost fragile. A hand extending a cup filled with clear water, light reflecting on its surface, white lilies blooming around it. There's tenderness here, vulnerability, forgiveness, waiting to be received. Is less than hash zero. 7 hash is greater than. This isn't about starting over from nothing. This is about emotional healing that was delayed, not denied. Someone wanted to offer their heart before Virgo, but fear interrupted the timing. And now that same feeling is back, purer, more honest, less guarded. The impact on you is subtle but deep. You're not angry the way you used to be. You're tired of carrying the weight. And they feel that. They feel your heart softening, not to them specifically, but to yourself. That's what scares them. And as that image fades, it blends into something familiar. Children laughing under a golden sky, memories looping like old film reels. You see 2 figures facing each other, cups between them, flowers blooming despite the past. This is nostalgia, yes, but more than that, it's regret soaked in sweetness. This person keeps returning to the same memory of you. Not the conflict, not the distance, but the safety, the version of themselves they were when they felt chosen. You see, they didn't just lose you, they lost who they were with you. And that realization is haunting them now, especially in the quiet moments when distractions stop working. Listen, the silence you experienced wasn't emptiness, it was avoidance. And now that silence has become unbearable for them. Their thoughts keep circling back, over and over, wondering if they waited too long, if forgiveness is still possible, if the door you never slammed is finally closing on its own. Virgo, your vibration changed. You stopped chasing clarity. You stopped asking for reassurance. And that calm, it's driving them into anxiety. They don't know how to reach you without exposing everything they avoided before. So the scene darkens slightly, a path lit only by moonlight, shadows stretching, emotions distorted. There's confusion here, yes, but also guilt. Things said to themselves that were never said to you. Excuses that worked until they didn't. The raw emotional impact is heavy. They are realizing that the distance wasn't mutual, it was allowed. And that truth stings more than rejection, because it means they could have fought and they didn't. And now they're watching you glow differently, grounded, quieter, less available energetically. Okay, stay with me, because right here the energy tightens. Chains appear, not harsh, but binding. Desire mixed with fear, obsession layered over regret. This person thinks about you when they don't want to. They replay moments, analyze your tone, your silence, your absence, and what they want, it's not just reunion, it's redemption. They want to be forgiven not only by you, but by themselves. And that's why the timing is now. Divine justice doesn't punish, it corrects. The universe doesn't rush, it waits until both souls are ready to feel the lesson fully. You see, the reason this is happening now is because you stopped resisting your own healing. You allowed yourself to feel without attaching. You chose peace over answers, and that shifted the scales. What was unbalanced is being recalibrated. What was delayed is being confronted. This isn't about forcing a return. It's about truth rising naturally when avoidance no longer works. And as everything flows together, the energy softens again. Warm light, open space, a sense of emotional safety returning, but in a new form. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. Healing doesn't mean reconciling. It means releasing the grip the past had on your nervous system. And Virgo, you're doing that beautifully, whether you realize it or not. That's why whatever comes next carries sincerity or consequence. No more in between. So let the story keep unfolding. Let them feel what they avoided. Let yourself remain open but protected. This energy isn't finished speaking yet, and what comes next depends on how honestly both hearts are willing to show up. And as I stay with this energy, Virgo, it deepens instead of fading. It's like the room goes quiet, not empty, but charged. That kind of silence where every unspoken word becomes louder than sound. Um, I'm seeing this person sitting alone with their thoughts, replaying moments they once minimized. The look in their eyes isn't defensive anymore. It's tired. It's heavy. It's the expression of someone who finally understands the cost of emotional distance. You see, they didn't think the space would change you. They thought you'd stay the same version of yourself, waiting, holding the emotional door open. But you didn't. You grew inward. You healed in places they never noticed until it was too late. And now that realization is settling into their body, not just their mind. Okay. There's a feeling here of reaching out and pulling back at the last second, messages typed and deleted, words rehearsed in the mirror. They want to say, you let the distance happen, but what they really mean is, I was afraid to fight for us. And that truth, it's painful because it exposes their vulnerability. They don't know if you'll receive it with compassion or finality, and that uncertainty is unraveling them. The emotional impact on you, Virgo, is different now. You're not spiraling, you're observing, you're grounded, you're aware of your worth without needing validation. That's the shift that changed everything. Listen, forgiveness is hovering here, but not as an obligation. It's a choice, a gentle one. Forgiveness as release, not as permission. And whether this person returns physically, emotionally, or only in memory, the healing is already happening within you. The universe is correcting the imbalance by restoring your sovereignty. You're no longer defined by what wasn't fought for. You're defined by what you chose to heal anyway. So let the silence speak. Let the truth arrive in whatever form it chooses. You don't need to chase clarity anymore. Clarity is moving toward you, slowly, deliberately, and the story is still breathing. And now, Virgo, take a slow breath with me, because this is where the energy settles, not in chaos, not in confusion, but in calm authority. What you've just moved through was not meant to break you. It was meant to return you to yourself. The distance, the silence, the unanswered questions, all of it reshaped your spine, your boundaries, your intuition. You didn't lose anything real here. You shed what couldn't meet you at your depth, and that's why the universe stepped in when it did, not to punish anyone, but to rebalance what was uneven for too long. You see, the person you are waiting for emotionally no longer has power over your peace. Whether they come back with words, with apologies, with vulnerability, or whether they stay suspended in regret, the outcome is no longer controlling your heart. And that's the quiet miracle. You are protected now. Your energy is sealed. Your heart is softer but wiser, open but not exposed, loving but not self-sacrificing. And whatever unfolds next will meet you at the level you now stand on, not where you used to be. So if this message found you at the right moment, trust that. Stay gentle with yourself. Stay grounded in your truth. And remember, nothing that is truly meant for you can miss you. It can only arrive when you're finally ready to receive it without losing yourself. Thank you for sharing this space, this breath, this moment with me. Until we meet again here on Virgo, stay in your light and keep choosing yourself.